Hi, good morning. How are you? This is Lou. Today is September 23rd, and I believe it might be Tuesday. Time flies every day. So I think it is. I think it is Tuesday. It is. So I'm surprised, okay, because it just was Monday. And I know I slurp. And it was just Sunday. Okay, let me see. All right. No, I haven't gotten anything accomplished. I'm looking around. I need to get a tote and gather up. But see, I got a car full of stuff I need to bring in. But I've left it in my car on purpose. But wintertime is coming. It's already been through one winter. But I've got a sewing machine out there amongst a lot of books. I've got a lot of books, and I packed them in some really thick, nice bags, shopping bags that they have, I don't know, at some places, somewhere across the country, man, they had nice bags. The plastic was thick. I shipped clothes, but I packed them real tight in there into a bag, tied it together, and then turned it upside down in another bag, fit it in there just perfect and tight, tied it up, and then put tape around it, and then put an address on it, and away it went. I don't know what they tried to charge me for that. That was a long time ago, but I'm just saying, surely it wasn't like the weight of a cardboard box. And it's a way to use your stuff again. Upcycling, recycling. I don't know that little expression. My mother used to say it, I guess, because someone else in the family said that Mom said it. It's about using it up. I think that's the last expression on it. So you use it the first time, and then you find another way to use it instead of just throwing it away. Like those plastic bags, okay? They are perfect. Not the thick, nice ones. I would be saving those for other things. Like this material that's coming, I'm going to be separating material, so I figure I'll put it in different bags, but nice ones. And but the other ones, the lighter weight ones, and they might have a couple holes in the bottom, couple little holes. So you use that for garbage can liners. I don't have one in here yet, but I'm going to get me a garbage can. And then I would put one of those plastic bags in it, and then when it's full, tie it up, and out it goes. But at least it's another use of it, instead of going out and buying them. Like I have one up there. I've got a garbage bag. The thing that goes in the garbage can, I got the bag, okay, and I've got it hanging up there there's something that goes over the top of the door, and it's got hooks on it, so you can put your robes and your coats or whatever up there. So I've got one of those bags hanging up there, and I go over there and put my garbage. I need to turn this around so you can see more of me. So I can never scrunch my head in good enough. So, all right, I have just a little bit. So what can I do? I opened up my app, and it says continue reading. So it's got this, I'm going to show it to you if it doesn't go away. Do, 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 do. Okay, it says continue reading. So it's got me Mosiah 7. Is that Mosiah? Yeah, it is. Mosiah 7 is in the Book of Mormon. And then, today, August 26th, okay, that's not today, the rock of our Redeemer. And then Acts 15, August 26th, the rock of our Redeemer. Maybe that's the class and they're showing me that. Maybe I did see it because I was looking up things. Alma 56, Genesis 21. I wonder what that was. Boy, they got a lot of stuff going on here. I know, I should be paying attention to you guys. I'm going, okay. It's like they've got a list. They've got a history of what I have seen on here. What maybe they can tell by how long I'm on it because I don't have them read it to me. But they got it all going on. The anti-mortal godship of Christ. That's in the book Jesus the Christ, and it's James E Talmage. And I read it on here, my patriarchal blessing. The patriarch that gave me the blessing was ordained by James E Talmage. And James E Talmage was an apostle way back when he wrote this book, Jesus the Christ, in 1915. So it's like, wow. I'm kind of related to this guy. I mean, I'm tied to this guy in a way because James E Talmage ordained the patriarch who gave me my patriarchal blessing. So the authority for that patriarch to give those blessings was handed down by James E Talmage, who was an apostle. That's trip, guys. That's really trip. When I read that, I'm going, wow. Because this book is really heavy. It's really, really good. When I say heavy, it gives you a lot of information about Jesus, and it's kind of hard. The language he uses is back then, and I found myself having a hard time understanding what he was saying, because you got to understand the words to know the meaning of what he's trying to give you. I'm going to slurp some more for a minute because this is going to get cold. I have a hard time keeping coffee hot, and I talk too much. I know that I talk a lot about the church, but it is really, really excellent. Most excellent. I can see it, I can see it from the inside, and I can see it from the outside. And I can see it through older eyes. And I can see it through those younger eyes that I had once upon a time. The church. I grew up in the church. And it is. No one's getting paid. I don't know how the prophet, if he gets paid, but I know he gets his place to live and he gets the things that he needs. And he has access to, I think somebody, I don't know when this was, and it wasn't really all that long ago, maybe in the last, 4 years or something, maybe a little longer, but somebody donated an airplane to the prophet so he can go wherever he wants, whenever he chooses. That's what I heard. I might have read it. There's a lot of magazines. The church has a lot of magazines themselves. But there's wonderful things going on, because he does. He has to get all over the place. He is visiting all over the place and dedicating temples and talking to the people. There's just a million things going on. Well, I don't know how much schools are going on, but they do have a pathway program, which I need to look into, which is continuing education. My voice is just not being very sweet, is it? Continuing education, which we all really should be doing. It's good for your brain, and what you're going to take with you is what you learn here. So it doesn't hurt to be exercising your brain, taking in some information. I'm talking to myself too, okay, guys? But I like to listen to people also, so that I don't have to read. But I have found that in trying to listen to these sow and sell videos, there's some I just can't stay on and listen to. There's something irritating about it. But there's some that is not. There's some that is really good. So I have to try to mark those so that I can get back to them. Quilting can be it can be fun. I used to do a type of I had all these scraps of material, and like I said, I like velvet, plushy things. So I had a lot of that. And so I started putting random pieces together, which made abstract design for the quilt. Jessica had it. I don't know if she still does, but she had it a really long time. It was something her mama made. And I did it not knowing what I was doing. I just put these pieces of material together, and really what I did, I think I must have, I don't know what I did, because it would stand to reason. I'm looking in my head. It would stand to reason I would have a sheet, excuse my voice, I would have a sheet, and then I would have the batting, and then I would have a sheet sewn together. That's what you should do. And then you can take and apply your pieces of material at your own leisure, so to say. You know, like if you're crocheting for something to do with your hands. But no, you would have the quilt, actually the blanket already made with the two sheets and the quilt batting. You might want to make it a lightweight quilt batting. I don't know much about it, but it seems like they should have something like that instead of real thick. But why did I say that? Because you're going to have a layer of sheet, then the quilt batting, and then a layer of sheet, and you're going to sew that all together. And then really you could do sew some lines to keep the batting where it belongs without being extravagant. But what you're doing is making that piece stay in place, and then you take and put your different pieces of material on there, fit them together like a puzzle. I'm talking to myself here, but I don't have all those scraps. But let's see what happens when that lady gets back to town. I'm excited. So it could be just a little bit, but she did say the word a lot. And I can definitely understand. I'm missing all my material. I bet it was in my storage unit that I let go of. time is it? 11:57. Okay. I don't have something great, but I might find something great here for a second. Let's go to, I have to go back somehow. Okay, go to the bookshelf. Talking to myself, but that's what you do. You open up the app, and at the bottom of the page on the left-hand side, there's a little teeny bookshelf with like 4 books on it. 3 books are standing up, one's kind of leaning, but you can tell. So anyway, you click on that, and then it comes up with Jesus Christ. Excuse me. The second option says scriptures, and the third option is general conference. Fourth option is Come Follow Me, which is the manual that they teach out of every Sunday or every time they have Sunday school class, because they variegate it now. It used to be a 3-hour session, and you would have Relief Society and you would have Sunday school class. But now what they do is they have Sunday school class, and then the next week they have the Relief Society and the priesthood meet separately. But every other week they meet together. And they cut out an extra hour, which is good. And that helps the buildings to serve more people. Now, I don't know if they ever said that, but it does. Because you have people coming and going all the time, okay? You come in for a sacrament meeting, and then you're going to disperse into classes. Well, after you have dispersed from your sacrament meeting, there's another ward coming in and having their sacrament meeting, and then they disperse into classes. But it's a continuum. So the first ward that went in the morning, they go to their sacrament meeting, and they go to their classes, and they leave, okay? Except for that one fast Sunday. They do a fast Sunday. They do a linger longer at the ward I used to go to. I don't know how many wards are doing that. But it's like you bring a potluck. You have a potluck after, because you've gone to church hungry. And it's just a nice way to socialize with people you go to church with. So I thought that was really great. Have some good food, visit with some people out on the lawn. It was out on the lawn unless it was bad weather. Then we went inside. So I've got to take care of my eyes, and I don't know quite what to do about it. And I remember, I don't know what show that was, but I do remember a show that said they were detectives, and they were saying that the woman didn't wear glasses because her eyes weren't puffy. Wearing glasses makes your eyes puffy. I heard that. Okay, so what I got to do, I've got just a couple of minutes, and what I wanted to do was try to read something that was uplifting. Jesus the Christ by Talmage. So I go to something heavy. Gabriel's new Annunciation of John. I don't understand that word. The Babe of Bethlehem, the Boy of Nazareth. Maybe I went to a wrong thing, but I tell you what, if you guys get on this app, I was going to say you might not be able to find that book out there, but maybe you will. But the point is, it's on this app for free, and it'll read it to you. Put it in the very beginning, and down in the right-hand corner, there's a blue circle that's got headphones, meaning that you touch that and it'll read it to you. And if you have your earbuds in, it'll come through your earbuds. Otherwise, it'll come through your speaker. I think is just way cool. Peace be still. Should I read that? Let's read that. This is chapter 20, Peace Be Still. Did you go see that movie yet? finding faith in Christ. That's how it begins. They're out on the water. They're out in a boat on the water, and the water is tossing them and turning them, and because it's rough water. And the apostles are all scared. And they're saying, Master, Master, because he was asleep. He didn't care. But he stood up and he said, Peace, be still. And everything was still at his word. Okay? Let's see. Peace, be still. Let's see if I can find something real quick. Come on, go up there. Stilling the storm. The instruction to launch forth and cross to the opposite side of the lake was given by Jesus, who probably desired a respite after the arduous labors of the day. No time had been lost in unnecessary preparation. They took him, even as he was, into the ship and set out without delay. Even on the water, some of the eager people tried to follow, for a number of small boats, little ships, as Mark styles them, accompanied the vessel on which Jesus was embarked. But these lesser craft may have turned back, possibly on account of the approaching storm. Anyway, we do not hear of them further. Jesus found a resting place near the stern of the ship and soon fell asleep. A great storm arose, and still he slept. The circumstance is instructive as it evidences at once the reality of this physical, I added a word, evidences at once the reality of the physical attributes of Christ and the healthy, normal condition of his body. He was subject to fatigue and bodily exhaustion from other causes, as are all men. Without food, he grew hungry. Without drink, he thirsted. By labor, he became weary. The fact that after a day of strenuous effort, he could calmly sleep, even amidst the turmoil of a tempest, indicates an unimpaired nervous system and a good state of health. Nowhere do we find record of Jesus having been ill. He lived according to the laws of health, yet never allowed the body to rule the spirit. And his daily activities, which were of a kind to make heavy demands on both physical and mental energy, were met with no symptoms of nervous collapse, nor of functional disturbance. Sleep after toil is natural and necessary. The day's work done, Jesus slept. Meanwhile, the storm increased in fury. The wind rendered the boat unmanageable. Waves beat over the sides. So much water was shipped, that's what it says, was shipped that the vessel seemed about to founder. The disciples were terror-stricken, yet through it all, Jesus rested peacefully. I better plug that in. There. Jesus rested peacefully. In their extremity of fear, The disciples awakened him, crying out according to the several independent accounts, "Master, Master, we perish! Lord, save us, we perish! And Master, carest thou not that we perish?" They were abjectly frightened and at least partly forgetful that there was with them one whose voice even death had to obey. Their terrified appeal was not wholly devoid of hope, nor barren of faith. "Lord, save us," they cried calmly. He replied to their piteous call, "Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith?" Then he arose, and out through the darkness of that fearsome night, into the roaring wind, over the storm-lashed sea, went the voice of the Lord, as he rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, "Peace, be still." And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. Turning to the disciples, he asked in tones of gentle yet unmistakable reproof, "Where is your faith? And how is it that ye have no faith?" Gratitude for rescue from what but a moment before had seemed impending death was superseded by amazement and fear. "What manner of man is this," they asked one another, "that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Among the recorded miracles of Christ, none has elicited greater diversity in comment and an attempt to, I don't know what that word is, than the marvelous instance of control over the forces of nature. So I'm going to stop there. I think that was pretty cool, pretty trip. That's in the book called Jesus the Christ, and it is on that app. You get on it, like the little bookshelf, you touch that and it opens up, and then so the first thing that you can tap on is Jesus Christ. Tap on that, and then you'll find a list of things, not a list, they're books, and it shows you Jesus the Christ, and you tap on that and there you are. You can pick and choose what chapter you want to read or have it read to you. You know, I should really do that, and I'm not sure how that would work, but I could, instead of me reading it, I could put it on here and tap it and record it, and then I could listen to it instead of trying to read it, because it is a little difficult. And remember, it was written in 1915 by an apostle, so they're not just your average person trying to write a book. And I've got to go, so I'm going to let you guys go. Okay, have a great day. One day, maybe I won't have to put glasses on and off. Who knows? I've never, ever tried contacts. I might just get to single vision and have readers for when I need to read. Take care, guys. Bye.